Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
This week I'm speaking with a couple who made the leap into full-time RV living after raising their family and deciding it was time for a new chapter. This episode is sponsored by Workamper News. If you have more questions and answers when it comes to the work camping and RVing lifestyle, then Workamper News can help. Listen to their free work camping Q&A videos to get your questions answered. Each video answers questions submitted by folks just like you who are either learning about the RV lifestyle, just getting started, or who have been work camping for a while. The videos cover topics like what kind of work camping jobs are out there, what do those jobs pay, tips for writing your work camper resume, questions to ask an employer, what type of RV is best, how to get your mail as an RVer, and much more. Listen to detailed answers now by watching the videos at workamper.com/answers. In the description of each video, you'll find a list of questions that were answered so you can quickly jump to the answers you want to hear. Check out the free Work Camping Q&A videos to get your questions answered today. Kim Sneed spent 30 years in the Department of Defense and the military, while his wife Kim built a career in school district communications and now works remotely in the architectural field. In this conversation, Alan and Kim share how they transitioned into work camping about a year and a half after going full-time on the road and why the lifestyle appeals to them. Alan explains how work camping keeps them active while giving them the freedom to travel, and Kim offers insight into balancing a remote career with life in an RV. They also talk about choosing locations, what types of jobs they look for, and how they prioritize flexibility over long working hours. You'll hear about their favorite destinations, including time spent in Colorado, how they manage connectivity with tools like Starlink and cellular service, and what to look for when evaluating potential work camping opportunities. They also discuss the importance of communication with employers, setting expectations, and finding the right fit for their lifestyle. If you've ever considered work camping or full-time RV living, Alan and Kim provide a practical and honest look at what it takes to make it work and how to enjoy the journey along the way. A connection problem early in the interview resulted in an abrupt change in topics, but to tell us more about their work camping experiences, please welcome Alan and Kim Sneed to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Alan and Kim. I really appreciate the time. How long have you been RVing?
We've been RVing probably 10 plus years, but not full-time. Full-time, I would say we're right at 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
2 years.
Okay, what prompted you to start full-time?
Got the kids out of the house. They're grown on their own. We were living in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we've never had any family there. So it's just been mom, dad, solo, no grandmas, no aunts, no uncles. The Navy brought us down there and we never left. I was stationed in Kingsville as my last duty station. And you start having family and you get stuck in one place. And so that's where we raised our kids and then decided to make a leap and sell everything and do something different.
How many children do you have?
2.
2. Are they in the Texas area?
No, one of them is. One's in Northern California. She works forestry type stuff. And then we have a son who will be 21 and a junior at UTSA here in San Antonio. He's in the Air Force ROTC program, and he'll graduate and commission next May. So we're practically done. So
Our daughter's married, and so we also have a son-in-law. And yes, they live up in Northern California.
Is there an interesting family dynamic with a Navy guy and an Air Force guy in the same house?
No, we're just a big military family. Lots of dating way back, and military's just been a big part of our heritage, I guess you could say.
When you started RVing full time, did you start work camping at that point as well?
Not initially. We were, I think, probably a year into full timing when we decided to start exploring the work camping option. For For probably the last year, every place that we stayed, we hadn't paid anything, just a few hours of work here and there. No big deal. And I'm watching my fellow work camper out there right now taking wins. So
What attracted you to the work camping lifestyle?
free, if it's free, it's for me. It allows us to, for one, I'm retired. I did 30 years DOD and active duty military. And so the biggest part for me was just something to stay active.
Keep him busy.
I can't just sit and do kind of nothing. So it gives me the opportunity to get out and get my hands dirty and whatnot. And then the liberty to be able to travel virtually from coast to coast, because there's thousands of RV campgrounds that are dying to get work campers, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And having a military pension probably helps you financially as well.
I don't have a military pension. I'm a disabled veteran.
Okay.
And then my DOD pension will kick in when I turn 57. So
But I still work from home.
Still work from home. Are you working a
Yes.
remote job or do you own a business?
Remote job,
Okay.
mostly remote. But
What do you
I
do,
work
Kim?
I work for an architectural company, but we only work with school districts, the architectural company that I work for. And so I help school districts with their school bond elections.
Oh,
Yeah, we
that's
go in and we help a school district develop the committee process, work with the community, come up with the bond package that will be on a ballot, whether here in Texas, whether it's in November or May, and then help with the campaign. I have 16 years in school district communications experience. So that's how I was able to transition from a school district over to.
What are some of the fun places you've been to when you've been RVing, both full-time and part-time?
we just got back from Colorado, right above Durango, from last summer. And we're actually going to go back there and do one more summer of work camping. We're chasing 75 degrees. Texas summers are just brutal. And we have the option now to not do that again. And so we're trying not to do that again. And so we'll go back to Colorado. Blue Spruce RV parking cabins is where we're going. And then from there, we'll go out to Northern California and then stay until probably after December time frame and then head to Arizona. But as far as your question is concerned, up until full timing, it was just a recreational thing. Where we've been, it was just lakes, rivers, camping with the family in general.
We have Starlink.
Oh, nice. What do you like about Starlink?
The mobility.
Yeah, you can pretty much put it anywhere. However, last summer when we went to Durango, we found out real quick that Starlink did not work there because it was all the campgrounds under the trees, basically. So we had to transition over to T-Mobile. And so we actually have options available for us.
That's a good idea. Options are nice for this kind of thing. And I heard that you can move the Starlink thing, or is it permanently mounted on your RV?
No, we don't permanently mount it. We set it up and take it down as needed.
Okay.
We're able to, if one doesn't work, then the likelihood of the other one not working are almost zero. So we like to have those two options. And both of the services pause. You can pause them. And yeah. So right now, T-Mobile is paused, Starlink is up. When we get back to Colorado, it'll probably be vice versa.
Okay. That's good. I did not know that you could pause those services. So that's a good money saving tip right there. What kind of jobs have you worked as work campers? Mostly in campgrounds?
Campgrounds, really just maintenance, light maintenance, nothing heavy electrical, just light plumbing, light electrical. I have done propane services, pool cleaning,
Picnic table painting.
table painting and staining. Can't seem to get away from those things, but
Sure, there's some.
And
Go ahead.
and lawn maintenance.
yeah, and lawn maintenance. Yeah, just general stuff. Nothing too heavy. Doesn't take a whole lot of find ways to make it happen. And that's what I like about it. That's another thing is that I came from a world where my job was quality assurance in Army aviation for my DoD career. And to really not to have to think about something. Because with Army aviation, and especially with helicopters, really any to get, and that one thing you didn't think about can cost someone their lives. And so it's nice to not have to think for a change and just do my thing.
That's right. That would be a stressful job to have in the military, that's for sure. And to be able to just go out and enjoy yourself, and you stay out of the RV so that Kim can work.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Have you faced any challenges on the road?
As far as the RV is concerned, we've gotten pretty lucky in regards to repairs, minor stuff that I wouldn't even think to even mention. Major stuff, not so much. I did have a work camping experience prior to this one. As a matter of fact, I'd done an interview while we were in Colorado, had another RV resort in this general area within 45 minutes from here.
In the Texas Hill Country.
And decided to take that. And it just one of those things where you're thinking, you're like, man, it doesn't feel right. The manager, husband, who was the maintenance guy, they were younger and they just weren't real great leaders. And their expectations were a little bit high for what a work camper really is. I had to the point to where I had to remind them that, I work camp because I want to work camp, not because I have to. So it was one of those deals. And so it just didn't generally work out. And so I made a phone call to where be it winter the year prior. And they were like, yeah, we'll get you going.
They hired you back to do the job that you were doing before?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What kind of RV did you select?
We had a fifth wheel Forest River Sandpiper. And ironically enough, to your question, is that we just got back from a Florida trip. We had to go down there because we actually ended up purchasing a different fifth wheel when we went with a Brinkley.
Yeah, we have the Brinkley Z3515. We actually in January went for the first time to the Florida RV Super Show, and we flew there with the intent of not purchasing anything. So we didn't bring the truck or the RV with us, and it didn't work. We bought something.
Always happens like that.
Yeah.
We went back to Jacksonville actually at General RV and finalized the purchasing of the Brinkley Z3515. And one of the big things is it has a designated office, which we're in right now, so that I can close the door. I can have some peace and quiet. He can be in the living room watching TV when he's not work camping. And so far it's worked out great.
I'm glad to hear that a manufacturer is designing an RV with a designated office, because there are so many people like that.
Yes.
A lot of them are now. They are really catering to that setup.
That's wonderful. Yeah. What are some of the perks you enjoy most about work camping?
Free camp spot.
That's a big expense saver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Free camp spot. Yeah. You're dependent on the area and the resort and the amenities that they have within the resort. You could be $1,200, $1,400 a month. And this is the one that we're at right now. I think it's $500 a month. We don't pay that. The only thing we pay for is electricity.
You pay electricity.
But where we were at in Colorado last summer, the site was free, the electric was free, propane was free firewood, laundry money.
They did events for the camp host, pizza night, they did for us, provide drinks and that kind of thing. It's a really good close-knit group of camp hosts and camp workers, and we really enjoy Blue Spruce RV Park.
That's nice that they go to that extent to make you feel welcome and appreciated.
It's excellent.
Yeah, they get it. They understand.
And Kim, did you have this job that you're doing now before you started RVing, or is it something you picked up after you started?
No, I had a job, and I'm mostly based out of the San Antonio area, but the job is moving 100% remote. So we can move a little more, both hybrid and still currently hybrid. So we've been able to move and fit in some of the work camping in different spots, but I'm going to go 100% remote. So then that will give us even more flexibility to go wherever we want.
You have a new job lined up already this summer?
We do. We're going to go back to Colorado one more time. We've made it one of our things is that this will be our last time going back to Colorado, or at least to that RV park, because we don't want to do one site more than twice. There's too many things to see, too many things to do, to go back and repeat, rinse and repeat. So
even though the experience is fun, it's nice
Yeah.
to get out there and look at what else is out in the...
absolutely.
And there was quite a bit that we didn't get to do in the Durango area. So we're in Durango, but we didn't get to go to Mesa Verde National Park. We didn't do Sand Dunes National Park. So there's still so much in that area that we want to be able to do while we're there work camping.
And that's one of the things that we like about work camping probably the most is being in a spot long enough to explore, right? We have friends, and to each their own. Like our friend said, there's no wrong way to RV, but they are here, there, and they're just all over the place, right? And this gives us the opportunity to settle in, take a breath, do a little kick back, do a little bit more type deal. So
Eat where the locals eat, that kind of stuff.
I think you're doing it the right way, because when I was full-timing from 2014 to 2017, I was moving every 3 to 5 days, and it was exhausting. So the ability to stay in one location and find out all the cool things that the locals know about, I think that's a win.
yeah, that's our MO right now, is just move slow. At the end of the day, we're not the type that we've got this big goal in mind of seeing all 50 states and being in every single one of the national parks. If it happens, if it doesn't, it's no big deal.
Sounds like it's a lot less stressful than I experienced. So good for you for doing it that way. How long in advance do you typically apply for jobs? Do you have one set up for next winter?
I would say a couple of months. No, I don't have anything set up for next winter. I had really put forth a whole lot of effort there, only because I know how easy they are to get and how plentiful they actually are.
We've been looking but most everything right now is really opened up for the summer.
Right.
So we're giving it a little bit of time, since we know we're going to go back to Colorado and we have summer already set up. We're going to give it a little bit of time, maybe another month or two, and then maybe perhaps by then more winter opportunities will start popping up.
I think getting the job is easy, right? The hardest part I have found about work camping is it's not getting the job. It's not getting the interview. It's, are they willing to work with you? In other words, I've seen postings where they want 40 hours a week. I don't want to work 40 hours a week. And so, what if I only work 20 hours a week? Are you okay with that? And some of them aren't. They want you to work full time. And I don't want to work full time. That's my choice. And so I'm very picky about the jobs that I do select, because I want that flexibility to be able to do things, be off on certain days, because Kim works Monday through Friday. And so our time to do things is on the weekend. If they want me to work on the weekend, that's not a job that I'm going to take. So it's more about finding what they're willing to do more than what I'm willing to do. Does that make sense?
It does. So do you look for a job that you'd like to work and then try to find an employer that provides that? Or do you look at a location first and then look for any job that would fit your expectation?
I look for location first.
Okay.
And then try to zero in on that area, and then be read the description of what they're wanting, how many hours they're wanting, what's provided in exchange for your work are all big factors that I'm looking at. So I'm generally looking anything from 15 to 20 hours a week with a full hookup site and utilities included. That's it. Anything above that is just like
Gravy.
yeah, she'll gravy. But that's my criteria, what I'm looking for. So,
It sounds like you need good communication to learn how to ask the questions before you accept the job. That would be important.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
You say that.
you really
Get a point there.
You really do need some sort of a checklist, because in my experience, work camping is very much a two-way street from an employer to worker standpoint. And the transparency needs to be there. They're understanding that, or that you have a good idea that that they understand that at the end of the day, a work camping position is really a volunteer position. That I'm not under a contract. I'm not under any obligation. And so I have found that the smaller mom and pop owned RV parks are a lot easier to work with than corporate. The ones that own 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 RV parks around the United States, where, if you need a box of screws, they've got to put a PO in. And then 2 weeks later, you might get your box of screws. I would much rather just go to the store, buy it myself. Here's my receipt, and get it reimbursed, and it just works out right. Right? So I'm looking for those little things, and reading the reviews on the RV parks, because I'm a big review guy. Some things that I don't purchase from Amazon, but I go to Amazon to read the review. And so I'm real big on that.
Reviews also let you know what's pretty much expected at the campgrounds, because the people leaving the reviews are saying what they like and what they don't like. So that's a good idea to check out those reviews. Do you have any advice for people who are considering becoming work campers or getting into the RV lifestyle?
Yeah. Going back to that checklist, that interview is not just their time to interview you, it's your time to interview them. And in regards to what equipment do they have? How old is the equipment? Does the equipment run? Right?
Does it work?
Does it work?
It seems like that's not a good question to ask, but trust us.
Yeah.
Good question to ask.
The place that we left, for instance, it was a 100-acre property. And from day one, the lawnmower didn't work. And so it ended up that I ended up having to mow with a weed eater. And that's just not something that you want to do, right? In South Texas. And it's those types of things that I was talking about being the transparency of the place that you're going to work, right? But that's your opportunity during that interview to ask those questions and find out, is it going to be the right fit? And even if you went through all of it and you checked all the boxes and you said, yeah, this sounds great, may not be when you get there.
And I also say to you that even though I don't work camp, only Alan does, I am part of it. And I am willing to help out. And like our last work camping spot in Colorado, I would help set up for events or help serve food for different things or clean up after an event. And I am more than willing to do that as part of our stay there at the RV park. And it's really all about how we all feel and work together at the RV park. And if the staff, maybe that the management isn't quite really good about being helpful and communicating those kinds of things, then you've lost out too on me as well, being able to help.
That's a good point, Kim, because you are a couple showing up at a place. They might say, oh, good, we've got a couple of work campers, even though one of the couple has a full-time remote job and is not available. So that kind of thing has to be communicated early on in the process as well. But there are going to be all kinds of problems later. So yeah, good point. Good point. I understand you started a YouTube channel that focuses on work camping and your full-time RV lifestyle. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm about to Kim take this one.
Yes, we have a YouTube channel. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, 99 Adventures RV. And we also do a podcast as well. And we do focus on work camping, where we're at, our experiences, that kind of thing, as well as we talk about being empty nesters, finding campgrounds that are veteran benefits, campgrounds that provide veteran benefits, those kinds of things, and just our overall experience of full-time RVing.
Let us be the example of what not to do type thing. If we mess up, we're transparent about it. We'll say, hey, you might not want to do this. It's just overall experience and whatnot.
That's available on YouTube at 99 Adventures?
99 Adventures RV.
RV, okay. And you're also on Facebook and Instagram, so people can connect with you either way that they would like.
That's correct.
Wonderful.
That's correct.
Thank you for sharing your story with me today. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck this summer and going forward.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Alan and Kim Sneed offered a clear and practical look at how they have built a work camping lifestyle that fits their goals and priorities. Rather than rushing from place to place, they focus on moving slowly, staying long enough to explore each area, and choosing jobs that allow them to maintain flexibility. For them, work camping is less about working full-time and more about creating a balanced life that includes travel, meaningful experiences, and time together. Alan emphasized the importance of treating the job interview process as a two-way conversation, making sure expectations are clear on both sides. From asking about equipment and job duties to understanding the work schedule, those early conversations can make or break the experience. Kim added that communication is just as important when traveling as a couple, especially when one partner is working remotely. They also highlighted the value of being selective when choosing positions by looking for opportunities that offer a full hookup site and reasonable hours while avoiding roles that demand too much time. If you would like to follow Alan and Kim's journey, you can find them online through their brand 99 Adventures RV. They share their experiences about work camping, full-time RV living, and travel tips on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Today's episode was sponsored by Workamper News. Much more than just a job listing website, when you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. A Workamper membership opens the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then membership is for you. Join today at www.workamper.com. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. That's all for this week's show. Next time I'll be speaking with a woman who had been full-time RVing with her family for several years. Today, she helps RVers develop businesses of their own by becoming Fireside RV rental franchisees. I'll have that interview in the next episode of The Workamper Show. Thank you for listening.